And I call Mr. Jack Lepresti.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'll be as brief as I can and well under the 8 minutes, I think. So before I begin to raise a couple of constituency issues, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to all the House staff, the policemen, doorkeepers, catering staff, virtually everybody who works here, who've done so much to support us over the last, what's been a very difficult year, so we can continue to work as safely as we can. And we mustn't forget that they do come here, given that we travel in from all over the country every week at some risk to themselves. So we're very grateful. And I'd like to wish them a very happy and restful Christmas. So the first issue I'd like to raise is a matter of the M49 Sevenside Junction. Now, before the 2015 election, along with my honourable friend, the member for Kingswood, and representatives from South Gloucestershire Council, we began a campaign for a link road to connect the M49 directly to the Sevensides enterprise and distribution area. Now, this link road will unlock thousands of jobs in the area, which already has a number of significant distribution centres such as Amazon, the Royal Mail and GKN Aerospace. Now, the junction was almost completed by Highways England at the end of 2019, at a cost so far of £50 million to the taxpayer. Now, much to my astonishment, the project hasn't been completed because there was no legal undertaking whatsoever for Highways England, the developer, the landowner, to complete the project by building the link roads to the motorway. So I cannot understand how planning permission was granted without securing a legal undertaking from the developer to build the necessary roads to connect this junction to the motorway, which would not only, as I've said, unlock local jobs, but will relieve the traffic in small villages around the area, like Easter Compton and Pilning, which will help with the environment, traffic disturbance, and it will also unlock, potentially, with the free ports and Brexit, a fantastic opportunity to build thousands of good, sustainable jobs. So I've written to Transport Ministers. I had a meeting with my honourable friend and member for Welland Hatfield, Secretary of State, who has personally written to the developer asking for an update and a timescale. There has been so far no response, no progress, and this junction, this unfinished project, is just sat there. So it has to be completed, and I cannot allow, and I won't allow the situation to continue any longer if I can, obviously. So what I'm going to do in the new year is seek a meeting with my honourable friend, the Prime Minister, to see if we can exert some pressure and get this project, this fantastic opportunity, completed, not only for all the benefits I've mentioned, but for the considerable money spent by the taxpayer. Now, the second matter with associated issues I'd like to raise is the matter of defence spending. Now, Filton and Bradley Stoke in the West of England region is a centre of excellence for the aerospace and defence industry. My constituency employs 20,000 people at least directly linked to aerospace and defence. And the southwest of England's aerospace cluster is the largest in Europe, and the UK's aerospace industry is the second largest in the world. So the announcement that the government is going to honour its pledge to continue to invest in this country's armed forces is hugely welcome. The pledge of £16.5 billion over 4 years, combined with the manifesto commitment of a 0.5% uplift, means that the total increase for defence is a substantial £24.1 billion. So what that means is the defence budget for this year is £42.6 billion. By 2024, it will be £54 billion. This will ensure that we can keep the UK safe. This will confirm our place as the second largest contributor in the NATO alliance and the largest in Europe. It will also help secure hundreds of jobs in my constituency and investment in our future capability. It will allow us to enhance and maintain our vitally strategic sovereign defence manufacturing capability. And it means that we will continue to be a reliable partner to our allies and friends around the world, and importantly, able to conduct operations in our own right unilaterally. So this is not just about exporting hard power, it's soft power, it's our values, it's humanitarian operations, as much as safeguarding our homeland. I promise to be brief. So, related directly to defence spend is the Tempest programme, which I welcome and thank the government for their ongoing commitment to. This is a programme which is essentially the development of the next generation of fighter aircraft. It will ensure that the UK can retain its world-leading position in combat aerospace and guarantee freedom of action, as I said. Hundreds of jobs in my constituency will be protected and increase over the years of development. It has brought together BAE Systems, Rolls-Royce, MBDA and other European partners, which is fantastic news, not only for our strategic defence capability, and I know my honourable friend, the Deputy Chief Whip, who sat there, was a former Defence Minister and has visited my constituency on this programme in the past, and I thank him for that. Now, on a related theme, and bearing in mind that we do have the Deputy Chief Whip sat there listening to every word, I will continue to be a candid friend. And I'd like to address the question of, mind you, the Deputy Chief Whip has my proxy, so I can't really do much damage at the moment. But I'd like to address the question of the UK's aerospace early warning capability. We undertook to purchase 5 E-7 wedge-tail aircraft, which will help protect our aerospace and our national deterrent. And again, it'll be part of our vital all-back working with our colleagues across the world, and in NATO in particular. So could I ask the government to use the additional flexibility and the extra money granted by a multi-year settlement to revisit the decision to reduce our initial order of 5 to 3? The reduced number will adversely affect our ability to support our NATO allies, as well as protecting our own skies. And finally, can I pay tribute to all the NHS workers, care workers and all the other key workers in my constituency for all the work they've done in the last 12 months. And I've been so inspired and impressed by the way that our small communities have worked together, from looking after, taking extra care of minding our neighbours and friends. The faith groups, the churches, the voluntary sector have done an amazing job, and we've all worked together and looked after one another. And I'd like to pay tribute for that and wish everybody a very happy and peaceful and safe Christmas. Yeah.